Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the show. I'm Anna, your host today. Thanks for spending the next 20 minutes with us. Find a comfortable place, maybe grab a drink, and settle in. Today, we're talking about a question many people ask. Should women get married nowadays or not? We'll share simple examples, different viewpoints, and a few short stories so it feels like a real conversation you might have with friends.
And I'm Mark. It's great to have you here. This episode will be calm and easy to follow. First, we'll look at how ideas about marriage have changed over time. Then, we'll talk about why some women choose marriage and why others prefer a different path. We'll also include a few quick scenarios and a short role play to show how these conversations can sound in daily life.
Our goal is to keep things clear and practical. If you're listening on a commute, while cooking, or doing a walk, don't worry, we'll keep a steady pace and repeat the key points so they're easy to remember.
All right, let's begin. Is marriage still the best choice for every woman today, or is it just one option among many strong options? Let's explore together.
Yes, times have changed and many people are asking if marriage is still important, especially for women.
Exactly. In the past, it was almost expected that a woman would get married at a fairly young age. It was the traditional or old-fashioned thing to do. Old-fashioned means something that is from an earlier time or not modern. For example, having women marry by 20 might seem old-fashioned now.
Right. These days, attitudes are different. In fact, I read that in the 1950s, women in the United States often married around age 20, but now the average age for a first marriage is around 28. That's a big change. Women are marrying later.
Wow, nearly 30. That's just how much society's changed. A lot of women are focusing on other things in their 20s, like education, career, travel. There's no rush to tie the knot.
Tie the knot. I love that phrase. To tie the knot means to get married. Imagine tying two people together in a knot. And you're right. There isn't as much hurry to tie the knot nowadays. Women often have more choices.
One big reason is that many women have financial independence now. Financial independence means you can support yourself with your own money. For example, if a woman has a good job and earns her own income, she doesn't need to marry someone just to be taken care of financially.
Exactly. In the past, some women might have felt they had to marry for security or money. But now with careers and incomes, women can be independent. They can take care of themselves.
That's true. A lot of women are very career-oriented these days. If someone is career-oriented, it means they focus on their career and professional goals. For example, my friend Lisa is very career-oriented. She spent her 20s building her business and wasn't thinking about marriage at all.
I have a colleague like that too. She enjoys her work and freedom. She says she might marry later if she finds the right person, but she's not in a hurry. For her, marriage is a choice, not an expectation.
And that's a key point. These days, marriage is more of a personal choice. I saw a survey recently where 85% of young adults said marriage isn't necessary to have a fulfilling, committed relationship.
thrivingcenterofpsych.com. In other words, most people believe you can be with someone and be happy without the legal marriage part.
And many people just live together now instead of getting married, which is much more common and accepted.
On the other hand, there are still some reasons women do want to get married. For example, some women dream of having a wedding or value the idea of a husband and a family. They might feel that marriage is a symbol of commitment. When you marry someone, you're making a public promise to stay together. That commitment can make some people feel more secure.
True. My sister, for example, really wanted to get married in her 20s. She said she wanted that feeling of companionship that comes with marriage, having a partner to share life with. Companionship means having someone's company, basically not being alone. She liked the idea of always having someone by her side to support her.
I understand that. Marriage can provide companionship and support. And some people want to start a family and raise kids with a spouse. For them, being married when raising kids makes things simpler or is just part of their culture or religion.
Yes,
Cultural and personal values play a big role. In some cultures, marriage is still very important and almost expected. I have a friend from a very traditional background. Her family kept asking her when she would settle down. Settle down means to start living a quieter, stable life, often by getting married and maybe having kids. Her parents would say, "When are you going to settle down and start a family?" She felt a lot of pressure from them.
Oh, I think many of us have heard that question. When will you settle down? Or when are you going to find a nice husband? That brings up another point: pressure. Some women face societal pressure or family pressure to marry. Pressure here means a force or stress from others, feeling pushed to do something. Societal pressure is pressure from society, people around you, or cultural expectations. For instance, if all your relatives expect you to marry by 30, that's societal pressure.
That pressure can be frustrating. On one hand, your family probably means well. They think a marriage will make you happy. But on the other hand, not everyone wants to marry early or at all. It's not fair to push someone before they're ready.
Absolutely. And thankfully, the stigma of not being married is much less now. Stigma means a negative label or a mark of shame. In the past, there was a bit of a stigma for women who stayed single. People might whisper that something is wrong if a woman didn't marry by a certain age. They might call her a spinster in a mean way. Nowadays, that stigma is fading. It's more normal to see women in their 30s and 40s who are single and successful and perfectly happy.
I'm really glad that attitude is changing. No one should be made to feel bad for not being married. Being single can be a valid choice. Many single women lead very fulfilling lives. They have great careers, friends, hobbies, maybe they travel a lot, and they enjoy their freedom. Their life can be just as rich and fulfilling as it would be with a partner.
That's so true. I have an aunt who never married. She's in her 50s now. She once told me that she never found the right person and decided she was happier staying single. She has a wonderful life, a job she loves, close friends, and she volunteers in her community. She says if she ever meets someone special, great. But if not, it's okay.
I really respect that. Me too. And some women are in long-term relationships, but she's not to officially marry. They might live with their partner for years, basically like a married couple, but without the legal paper. They share life, but just never had a wedding. And that's becoming quite common.
It is. Marriage is no longer seen as the only path. For example, nearly half of Canadians said they feel marriage is simply not necessary. UH.edu. So this isn't just one person's opinion. A lot of people feel that way. Society is recognizing that marriage is optional.
On the flip side, I think it's important to acknowledge that marriage can still be very meaningful and positive for many women and men. Wanting to get married isn't wrong or anything. It can be a beautiful celebration of love and partnership. My friend who got married last year says it was one of the happiest days of her life. And she loves calling her friend or her husband now. It just makes their bond feel even stronger.
That's lovely. So it really depends on the person, doesn't it? Some women feel marriage is an important milestone they don't want to miss, and others feel it's not necessary for their happiness. Both viewpoints are valid.
Exactly. There's no one-size-fits-all answer. The question, should women get married nowadays, doesn't have a simple yes or no answer. It's more like, if a woman wants to get married, she should do it for the right reasons, like love, companionship, wanting to build a life with someone, and not just because of pressure or because everyone else is doing it.
Right. And if a woman doesn't want to marry, that's perfectly okay too. Not getting married can be the right choice for someone who values independence or just doesn't feel the need for a legal union. What's important is that each person can choose what makes them happiest.
I agree 100%. At the end of the day, marriage is a personal decision. Women shouldn't feel like they have to get married to be respected or to lead a good life.
They can create their own path.
And if you do find someone and you both want to get married, that's wonderful. Go for it. If you don't, that's totally fine. There are many ways to live a happy, meaningful life.
Well said. Maybe the real question isn't should women get married, but should people do what feels right for their own lives? For some, that will include marriage. For others, it won't.
Exactly. Everyone is different. So, to any of our listeners wondering about this, don't let anyone pressure you into a decision. You have the freedom to choose. If you want to settle down with a partner, great. If you prefer to stay single or just date without marrying, that's great too.
Before we finish, let's quickly recap a few useful phrases we mentioned today. We talked about tie the knot, which means get married. We mentioned settle down, meaning start a stable life with a family. Financial independence, being able to support yourself financially. Career-oriented, very focused on your career. Pressure, feeling pushed by others to do something, like societal pressure to marry. Stigma, a negative label or shame about something, like the old stigma of being unmarried. Companionship, having someone's company, friendship, and support. And committed relationship, a serious long-term relationship.
Great recap. We hope these words and phrases are helpful. Understanding them will help you discuss topics like this in English and, of course, understand news or conversations about modern life and choices.
Thank you so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed today's discussion and learned something new.
If you found this episode useful, feel free to share it with a friend and let us know your thoughts. Do you think women should get married nowadays? Or is it okay not to? We'd love to hear different perspectives.
Remember, whatever you decide for your own life, make sure it's your choice. Don't let anyone tie the knot for you.
Well said. All right, that's all for today. Thank you everyone for joining us.
Take care, and we'll catch you in the next episode. Bye for now.